This week on Gran Turismo, I take avoiding action. In Daily Race A, Daily Race B, I get sent to Narnia as I get hit up the rear. And in Daily Race C, I decide to pit lap 1. But will it work? And welcome back to a Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2024, week 39. And this week, a bit of a weird one, if I'm brutally honest with you. And I've also changed the scoring system, and you'll see that as we go through. First up, Group 2 in Daily Race A. We don't see this very often, if ever, actually. What are we doing? Well, we're doing 6 laps at Autopolis. It's a rolling start on racing soft tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance. DR updates are off for this one. You can race as well. The dirty air, well, it's still there and a little bit annoying. It's not like absolutely crazy where you're just stuck in no man's land. You can still race a little bit here, okay. Now, if you don't want to do this race, and I imagine some of you really don't want to do this race because we're not a fan of Autopolis, well, timestamps are there for you to jump to Daily Race B or Daily Race C if you prefer to try out those. However, I do all 3 races, and it's worthwhile watching all 3 so you get a good feeler for the races in question. In terms of Daily Race A, though, this track has been used 8 times, but the combo has only been used once. Now, I'm only going to update the rank now if it's one of the ones further up, because when it's only been used once before, it's just joint a billionth, basically. 13th of June was the last time we used the track, and in terms of issues, the downforce does mean there is going to be big skill gaps there. You'll see that in the time trial laps as well, and sends will happen. There will be dives on this place because you have to, otherwise you're not going to overtake anybody. Speaking of which then, let's get into the race. Let's have a look at exactly what happens, because in this one, I've got to make my way through the entire field. Here we are then at the start of the first race. Lots of people picking the NSX. That will be the meta car this week. It is the best handling Group 2 car, and we're at a handling circuit. Max Power, though, says, no, not a chance, and chooses the Audi up ahead, which does have DRS if you want to try and overtake on the straight. Gonna head towards turn number 1 then. Max Power already made the overtake, but the Nissan up ahead trying to go down the inside. So one sent it behind me, so I had to really adjust there. But that adjustment helped me. It meant I avoided that car spinning out on the right side. And now we look towards catching up to the rest of the field here as we go into the hairpin. The Max Power on the inside of Jammy. TCR Jammy there. Shout out to you as we get on the inside as well. Get the acceleration down, get the grip going, and look at it. We're up into P8, following Max Power through then as we continue through the left-hander. And look how much we catch up. That's a difference between the Honda and nearly every other Group 2 car. It just flies around corners. Now what I'm going to try and do here is go around the outside of Max Power at the hairpin. Very hard to do here, but look at this. We managed to maintain that speed around the outside using the downforce, using the grip of the car to try and maintain a larger speed around the outside, and it's helped out here as we go into the right-hander. We're still side by side into this longer right-hander now, and this is where I can gain the advantage. Keeping it on the inside here, in towards the left we go, and we finally get the position from Max Power. Brilliant racing there, though. I really did enjoy that one. You see the smile on my face as well. I do love good racing like that. It is good fun. As we continue through this left-hander then, and up ahead we've got a battle with Bold Ben, and we've got the South African there looking on the inside. They didn't manage to get it done. Bold Ben comes back at them. We've got Goovy here with a 0.5 second penalty, which is not going to happen until, well, pretty much a half lap later then. But as we head towards turn number 1, I'm staying in the slipstream now. And Nadeem there just being left hung out to dry here as we get towards turn 1 then. In we go. And what we're going to do is try it around the outside. There's a bit of contact between the two. We benefit from that up into P6 then. Sort of a move made, but look who's coming at me here. Max Power in the Audi is coming at me as we head in towards the complex section here. Going to be on the outside, which will be the inside for the next corner. So once again, we're side by side with Max Power. Really give me a run for my money here is Max Power as we go into the braking zone. We defend this nicely. Slight tap on Max Power behind, and that's going to give us a bit of space that we need then. We're going to fast forward a little bit here. As you can see, Goovy does have that penalty, and we should be going by Goovy. There we go. Up into P5 we go then. Oh, Bold Ben getting it wrong up here. This is TCR Hero as we go into the right-hander. And look at the speed we're carrying. This is the difference where you have to carry the speed to really maximize these cars. I'll talk about in the lap guide as well. As we go into this right-hander, Bold Ben goes a bit deep here, so I get on the inside of them there as we go through here. Slight bit of contact, nothing major there at all. Let's just race in as we go into this left-hander. And Bold Ben looking to try and defend there. Just gets it a bit wrong as we go into this right-hander, and all the gaps are closing up, including Max Power still there in that rear view behind Goovy as we continue on out of here then. Start lap number 3. So where's Bold Ben going to go here then? Goes towards the left-hand side, so I'm going to keep it on the right-hand side here as we head towards turn number 1. Are we going to get this done? That is the question. Hard on the brakes. In we go. Oh, my word. Goofy sent it behind there. Gets the job done. That's fair play with that one. As we continue on out there, we catch up to Handsome Frank then in lap number 4 this is, as we go into this right-hander. So you may notice tyre temps down in that left-hand side, and you'll notice they're above 90 degrees, which I believe is where the softs are absolutely nuking themselves. And it's something that I really am testing at the moment, really trying to get a good understanding of tyres. Hopefully that video will be out either this week or next week to really give you the information as well. Let's get back into this racing though. Handsome Frank defending very nicely here. And what I'm going to try and do is what I did with Max Power, round the outside here, maintain that speed. It gives me the grip I need, and I actually get the job done round the outside. One of my best moves I've done in a while, if I'm honest with you. Really well done, in my opinion. What we're going to do is advance towards the final lap, where we do catch up to the leaders here. Arkies and Mario in P1. Shouldn't that be an Italian flag, Mario? Okay, that was a bad Italian joke, I know. Through the right we go then, and we're not really going to get this done. We needed one more lap, unfortunately. But as we head towards the line, even so, we've had a brilliant race there. And we're going to cross the line. We do actually have some new scoring system here for you folks as well, just to give you a heads up. So I've given it a 5.5 out of 10. I'm going to put all the details in the description about how I've scored this race. Probably in a comment, maybe, actually, instead. But yeah, we've got a new scoring system, 5.5 out of 10 given there. So in terms of lap times, lap guide then, on the right side, you can see the brake balance +5 there. We're going to head towards turn number 1. What we're looking for is on the left-hand side, okay? The left-hand side. So we've got the orange painted barrier or the end of the stadium. Now, the orange painted barrier is a bit too early. The stadium is literally last of the late breakers. So you're braking in between these two markers, okay? Or the grandstand, should I say. And that's what I would highly recommend here. Now, as you turn in, I like to go into third gear on some of the laps. I didn't on this particular lap because I was going for rank 1. But third gear will give you a tiny bit more stability, and it is well worth doing if you are struggling. You will get a similar sector one time. As we approach this next corner then, literally the escape road there is a bit too early, but it's a nice marker to know. The 50 board is a bit too late, so you're braking in between these two markers again here in the NSX. In other cars, that's why I've highlighted these earlier brake markers in case you want to use those. As we go into here, I'm in third gear, stay in third gear throughout this then. I'm going to dab my brakes a little bit here as I go into this one. It's all about maintaining speed through here. And as we go in towards the hairpin, the end of the curb on the right side is my brake marker for this hairpin. We used to use White Van Man on the right side. Not there anymore because obviously they changed the way practice sessions work. But essentially you want to brake in a straight line now. You're going to drop to first gear, but you are going to want to short shift to second gear on the exit, okay? So first gear gets us rotation. Second gear, there we go. And we accelerate quite early there in the corner. And we're going to continue towards this fast left. Use the curb on the right, turn in. And literally we lift off a little bit up to fourth gear. And we're looking for that marshal box. That marshal box is basically saying you need to accelerate at this point. And it's as it hits the center of your screen. So as it gets there, you go, right, I'm waiting. I'm on and off the throttle here. I'm trying to maintain the speed. It's in the middle of my screen. Right, foot to the floor, off I go. And you should make it. You can see that I made it absolutely fine. Whereas before I was trying to maintain that speed. Gonna head up towards the hairpin then. What we're looking for here on the right side, we have the marshal box and we have the 50 board. I'm braking just before them, okay? And if you are going to struggle on brakes here, brake even earlier than that. You maybe can even use the arrow behind me, but I found that a bit too early. Brake hard, brake late, and head towards the inside of the corner a little bit. And you can see I'm just doing that right here. And I release the brakes to get it rotated. And that marshal box on the exit is a really good acceleration marker. It's not one I use, but as I was editing this, I was like, that's a really good marker. You know, every time you see that, just start accelerating. I'm in second gear as well. So you may have noticed I went in first gear. I've then gone to second gear. And then I'm going to accelerate out the corner. It should be stable enough there. I'm not in the power band until a bit further on. So it doesn't actually have power oversteer on exit. Going to head down here then, and we're actually going to be last of the late brakes here. On the left-hand side, the 50 board there is your brake marker. So you're going to hit the brakes and then turn in, and you want to maintain a very high speed through here. I was always trying to maintain around 120 in terms of speed. Now, I actually turned in a bit too late on this particular run, and this is easy to do there. And notice there, I dropped to 118. 120 is a really good speed to aim for. Now, the end of the curb on the left-hand side, this is your turning marker and a slight dab of the brakes, potentially. It's only if you're carrying too much speed here. And I can't remember what I was doing on this particular lap, but if you're carrying a bit too much speed, you're going to dab the brakes a little bit. I dropped to third gear as well. It helps with rotation. There you go. Look, I'm just trying to slow the car down up into fourth gear very quickly, and that allows me to continue on through here. A slight lift then. And as we go into this braking zone here, there is no marker here, okay? It's all about just getting the car straight. That's all you want to do. So you can see the marshal box in the center of the screen. If you want to use that, feel free to, but I don't use that at all. I don't think it's a good marker in the slightest, but I'm just on the brakes now, and I want to trail brake through this corner. Not 100% braking. I'm just trying to slow the car down, get it rotated up into third gear very early here, and that is to maintain stability and not get power oversteer. Through this left-hander, I'm on and off the throttle there between 100 and 70%. As we go into this right, I'm turning in from the curb that was on the left, but here is a brake marker on the right. It's the start of the curb there. You just want to dab the brakes a little bit. Similar to the other corner that we've just done in Sector 3, it's all about trail braking, slowing the cars down, just getting a little bit of rotation if you can, and getting early on the throttle. Notice there, I was literally on the brakes, just around 25% there, and I'm looking for that orange, I don't even know what it is, sign? I don't know what it is. The orange thing on the right-hand side. And I'm looking for that. That's my acceleration marker. You want to accelerate extremely early on this corner. Remember, you've got huge downforce here. The more speed you carry, the more grip the car has, the more it will turn. That's what you have to remember with this combo, okay? So keep that in mind. That's a 33.9. Quite a good lap there, in my opinion. What we are going to do is jump to Daily Race B, where, yes, I know we've done this a million times already, but it's time for the millionth and first time. It's Bathurst and Group 3. We're doing 5 laps here. You do get a reward bonus, which does mean it's in the World Series, which is happening this weekend. It's a rolling start on racing medium tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance. We have done this combo many, many, many times, so you will know that the Supra is a very good car here. And you can see how much we've done it here. Track and car combo, we've used 7 times. It's the 3rd most used combo that we've ever done. Group 3, Bathurst. Come on, PD, sort it out. It's hard to overtake on the mountain. Wheel spin and crashes are very common here, so you are going to have to keep an eye out. It was last used on the 2nd of September. We're still in September. Absolute madness. Anyway, I chose the Supra for this one so I could overtake on the straights, being a sprint race. Let's jump into that race and let's see if I do it. Here we are then at the start of the race. We've got a Lexus in pole. I nearly chose the BMW that Muscaffi chose, or the endurance version. I nearly went for it, but I was like, I need to overtake on the straights. Now, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel, because I appreciate the support. I'm so close to 100k now. It's absolutely like mind-blowing to me. Now we're going to head in towards this right-hander here. We're already into lap 1. We started in an atrocious place, so the start type is just 0 on the scores. I'm putting that out there right now. We're side by side with Max Power. Unfortunately, if you do go on the outside line there, it is very common to go into the barrier. There's no grip there at all. And Max Power actually benefits and gets past the other Supra, which I think has Paul Walker's livery on it from Fast and Furious. I could be wrong with that sentiment and statement, but I'm pretty sure it's very close to it. As we go up the mountain here then, and this is where you just have to really sit in the car in front of you's mirror, basically, on its exhaust. There's nowhere to go there. They've got a 0.5-second penalty. We've got smoke up ahead. No idea what's kicking off here as we go down the mountain. And this is where it gets a bit sketchy for some cars. As we go into here, then we slow it down. And we're already on the inside of somebody now. Side by side down here is very, very, very scary. Look at this. Side by side. Actually, this is brilliant stuff with the Belgium driver. We actually survive as well. Really good stuff. Really good racing. You don't expect that to happen. No, there's a big crash and everyone's dead. But no. Side by side, all clean, happy days indeed, and they've got a penalty here as well. The one thing I will say, when you choose your line for the penalty, don't move over. That's my reaction to that, because you're on the left and then you moved in the penalty zone. If you unghosted there, that would be entirely on you. Right, okay, in towards the left we go, and we're in this train of cars then, at the end of lap 1. Shelter's in here, Max Power's in here. We've got a Genesis, we've got a Porsche, I think's in there, BMW, and the Corvette, and me in the Supra as we go into the left-hander. No, there's no Porsche in there. Actually, I am lying. But we're going to leave that corner then. There is a Porsche in this race, though. I will just point that out there. As we head onto this straight here then, and everyone's going to be getting very close. That Corvette does pull. It really does. We saw that in Beat the Meta this week on the live stream. If you didn't see it, make sure you do check out that live stream as well. But towards the right-hander, I knew their race heart was going to get it wrong. I had this funny feeling, so I backed out of it to make sure I got on the inside. And look at that, I gained, I have no idea how many positions, but I could see it coming. And this is where you need to prepare yourself in advance. If you can see something's about to happen, just back out of it. You know, get into a place where you know you can survive it, or best chance of survival, and maybe you'll gain something. And I just gained maximum there. Get all positions and survived. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, eh? We're on the chase then, or heading towards the chase, sorry, and on the right side, Mikey there, just left, hung out to dry. Now, I had a choice here, TCR Hero or Max Power. I went towards Max Power because Max Power's making his way through the field a bit more, and I figured I could overtake Max Power a bit easier than the BMW, actually, on a straight, because that Lamborghini, I think, is a bit slower than the BMW. So that's what I went for here, and we do get a position behind, though. They do come together. Then we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers as we go into this left hand. I think TCR Hero wasn't too happy with that one. But again, we'll have a look in the bloopers, see exactly what happened. And Max Power gets another position there from a Ford GT. Now, you don't see these very often. Again, preparation and just seeing something going to happen there. I could have maybe put my nose in there, but that would have caused the crash. So it was closing. I thought, you know what, I'll back out of that. I'll fight another day. And that's what I'm doing right here then. I survive. And this is all Bathurst really is. It's survival, but then overtaking on the straights where you can overtake. Into Forest Elbow and out we go then. And we need to really get close to this Ford GT, which is very quick in a straight line. We know this from previous experience. But can we get in the slipstream or be close enough? That is the question. We are slowly getting closer, closer, closer. Now, they're in the middle of the road. They're making their car as wide as possible. So go towards the right-hand side. They do turn in a little bit there. I'm not sure what that was all about, but even so, maybe it's just a delayed reaction. We're going to go hard on the brakes here, and we do get past them in the end as we go into the left-hander. And we just got a whole load of understeer. The car did not want to rotate there. Did cost me on the exit there. They actually avoided hitting me as well because they had got a nice run through that corner. But here we are now defending from that Ford GT. In towards the left we go. Again, just struggling with getting the car rotated. We continue on out of here, but now they're going to have the run on me as we head towards turn number 1. They're going to go towards that inside then. Here we go. I got a bit worried about this, but they back out of it, which gives us an opportunity here to get through the corner and break away very quickly. And that's exactly what we did then. So we jump to lap number 4. In we go. And up ahead, there's a Porsche. That's the Porsche I knew was in this race somewhere. It's El Giorgiaudu. 72. I assume that's the year you were born then. So in towards the left and we go. Now the Porsche down here is going to be very sketchy. I don't anticipate many people using the Porsche this week, if I'm honest with you, because without a setup, it's not that good anymore. As you can see there, with it understeering off and it's just not wanting to turn. So Porsche versus Toyota Supra. There is only one winner in a straight line, and it's the car I'm in right now, and we're about to witness that as I go clean on by past the Porsche up into P6. There was somebody with a penalty up ahead, Ludo, and we are catching them, but fortunately they're a bit too far ahead there for us to catch up before the end of the straight. As we go into this braking zone here, the Porsche behind gets it all sorts of wrong. I saw them coming. I tried my hardest to try and keep the car from going on the grass. Couldn't really do anything about it there. I come back on the circuit as safe as I possibly could. And I'm sticking towards the right-hand side there to give room to Nadine there. You can see my reaction there. I wasn't too happy, but in the end, I think they've just missed the braking zone. That's my raw reaction. That will be a short, of course it will. And you can see and hear my live reaction later this week. That's what I do shorts for, live reactions and obviously information in certain situations as well. Nadeem hit the barrier there in the Lexus. Now, when you hit the barrier once, you get out of rhythm here when you go up the mountain. It's actually quite frustrating. So as we go through the left, Nadeem just bringing it back now. Just a bit slow there. But as we go down the mountain, can Nadeem bring it back? That's the... Oh, big crash there. Big crash from Mikey into the barrier. Mikey. That's so not right. That was a failed attempt at the Formula 1. But it was the right we go. And in towards Forest Elbow. And Nadeem, that's not right either. Into the barrier. Actually gets stopped there as well. We're up into P8. Happy days indeed. And can we catch the two up ahead who are fighting very hard here? It's the Ford GT versus BMW as we head in towards the braking zone. And the BMW sent it down the inside there. Oh, that's a bit rough and ready, that. Quite aggressive, if I do say so myself. But I couldn't see from here whether it was making the apex or not. But we're going to head towards the last corner then. And in we go. Can we get a run out of this corner? Oh, Mikey, good defense. That's really good defense. Really slowed it up on the apex. Stop the Ford GT getting the run. We're going to head towards the line though. That Ford GT getting very close at the end. Doesn't quite do it there in terms of overtaking them. But it was a very close finish. And you can see the carnage Bathurst is going to bring with this sprint. Overall, a 5 out of 10. Again, the scores are going to be down below just to explain them because I have changed the scoring system slightly. But what we're going to do now is jump into a lap guide. This is a lap guide from a previous time that we were here. So 1+2 brake balance for this lap. So on the right side, you've got the 100 board if you want to use that. Alternatively, you can use the end of the building on the left-hand side. And that's what I prefer to use here at Bathurst, okay? The end of the building on the left-hand side is a really good marker, and that's what I highly advise you use. As we go into here, just be careful of the bump mid-corner and then accelerate out of the corner then. And then you can breathe a little bit here as we end sector 1 and head towards the start sector 2. So as we head towards this right-hander, on the left-hand side, we've got a barrier there. You can see how it's like the barrier and then a gate. Sorry, it's a gate and then the barrier. The gate is a really good marker, or the end of the tarmac. Now, I prefer the end of the tarmac, personally, because it's closer to the circuit, so it's very much more in visual range. And I'm going to brake at that point and turn in. Keep a nice tight line here. You want to be close to the curb, but not on the curb. If you touch the curb, you may go for a spin. We'll leave that corner absolutely fine. You may suffer some power oversteer. Just be careful of that. And as we go through this corner, it's a slight lift and then into this braking zone. It's when the white line goes straight. I always mention this. That is my marker on any game as well. You know, it's not even just Gran Turismo. Really nice marker when it goes straight, because guess what? You have to brake in a straight line. So it's the perfect marker. And that's what we try and do. We get on the inside here. Just be careful on exit. You may suffer some wheel spin a little bit like that as we continue on out of here and head up the mountain. So we've got two markers here, two trees that you can use. So the one on the left or the one on the right. These are turn-in markers. Now, you can, in some cars, do this corner flat. In some. not all. And if you try and do it flat, it's very risky indeed. So you may want to lift for this one. I'm just putting that out there right now. Notice that I do a couple of little lifts there, and I make it absolutely not a problem. As we go down here, you do want to be up a gear as we go through here. Slight lift there as we touch the curb, and we're going to head up here then. So the curb there, the start of the curb is your marker to lift off. That's all I want you to do is lift. I don't want you to brake or anything. That will unsettle the car. Lift off, let the car's weight settle as a 50-50 or whatever the weight distribution is in this car. And then once you get over the crest, then start accelerating. So that's what I do there. And look at that. It's nailed. It's beautiful. It's exactly what you want as we head down the mountain now. 3 markers. The IDR8 sign is last of late breakers if you really want to try it. I use the building on the right, and I'm aiming for the bottom square there. That's where I'm aiming for, okay? Now, as you go down here, you're going to brake in a straight line and lift and brake, okay? So we're going to brake a little bit, brake hard in a straight line, lift, brake hard in a straight line. Each and every time, you must brake only 100% in a straight line. If you try and do it while turning, you're going to end up in one of the barriers on the left or right hand side. Now, the dipper here, you've got to be careful of the inside because you can get a track limit, but the end of the curb on the right is your brake marker. You're going to dab the brakes and chuck it in for this one, okay? You normally want to be in a higher gear to avoid power oversteer. You are going to clip the curb on the right, so just be careful of that power oversteer. Forest elbow, the black concrete into the white concrete or grey or whatever it is there. So that marker there, the transformation of colour, nice little marker here. So you're going to dab the brakes initially, slow the car down, and get it turned in a little bit to give you the best angle for Forest elbow. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Brake in a straight line as we go down here. Let the car go around the corner a little bit, then start to accelerate. Be careful on exit because you're going to have so much power and the weight is all pointing down. The car's going to want to accelerate very quickly, which does mean wheel spin because there's no weight over the rear wheels. In towards this left-hander then, you got the 150 board and the V in sign event. Or, for nostalgia's sake, Signavent. That's what we're going to say. So the V there is a really good marker. 150 board, more for the Supra because you're carrying so much more speed in this car. Try and turn in and clip the curb on the inside. Accelerate very early, but you are going to get power oversteer. You do have to be careful on the exit of that corner, okay? We head towards the final corner, and what we're looking for is on the right-hand side. There it is. I've highlighted it for you. It's the tree, the big old tree. And I use this, again, in any game where I race at Bathurst. It's a lovely marker to use for this final corner. So brake in a straight line when the tree hits the edge of your screen, and you should be fine and dandy at making this corner. And that's what I'm going to try and do here. So be careful of the bump mid-corner. It can really alter the car in terms of causing power oversteer or just forcing some understeer there. We cross the line here. That's a 2-minute one. I haven't actually done a lap this week yet in terms of time trial, so do expect to see that on the board. We're already in Daily Race C then. I'm in the Renault Megane Trophy, and yes, I know we just did this last week, Brands Hatch Group 4. We're doing it again, but the full circuit now. We're actually doing 11 laps here. It's a rolling start on racing medium tyres. You do have to pit at least once, and times for tyre wear and the brake balance is adjustable. Now, the Renault Megane Trophy is a fantastic car at the moment in Group 4. It really does have some pace, and it has some grip and stability there as well, and that's why I've chosen it. In terms of statistics, then, we've used this track 9 times, this combo 5 times. It's 6th on the board. It's got Steve's position. Maybe it's cursed, I don't know. But we last used it on the 27th of May, so we've not used it in quite a while, so I don't mind using it now. Pit entry is very hard. You do need to try and get that right. It's also hard to overtake here just because of the nature of the corners. So let's jump into this one then, and let's see if I can win this race. Here we are then with this final one then. The Honda on pole. We've got Chelsea in the Scirocco. Shout out Chelsea for still using that Scirocco. Very well played. Now, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button and you're enjoying this video, and subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content and help us towards that journey of 100,000 subscribers. We're so close now. It is insane. I am going to try and stream on the day as well if we do get very close. I'll have to just say to work, I'm streaming right now, but we'll see how it goes. In towards Druids then, and Max Power was looking to try and go around the outside of Forever Cursed, but unfortunately doesn't get it done. I nearly collect Max Power on the exit there, but I did take avoiding action. In towards the left we go then. Max Power once again looking here, but I'm going to go around the outside of Max Power to get this job done then, up into P12. But we got Womble in the Duracell. Is that a Duracell livery there? It looks very similar. No, it's not actually. It just looks like the battery livery that some people put on. We get a good exit here, and Forever Cursed up ahead then. Where are they going to go? So they're going to go defensive here. So I go towards the left-hand side, hopefully going to use the slipstream here as we head towards this right-hander. And I'm going to try something that I don't and wouldn't recommend trying, and I don't do very often. Round the outside there. We got it done, though. All funds. Happy days indeed as we continue on through here towards the end of the lap. Now, because I know this car is very good on tyre wear, I'm going to do something pretty insane here. I'm going to come into the pits now. look at this. Lap 1. Now, you don't have to change tyres, so guess what? I'm not going to change tyres. There's my pit crew. Just having a look at it, having a gander. And then we're going to leave the pit. So we came in 5.5 seconds behind the leader. And we come out 13 seconds behind the leader. So you can see the difference right there. Oh, hello. Up ahead. Somebody is off the circuit. No idea how that's happened. Look at that one in the bloopers. But we jump to the very next lap then where Bold Ben and Good Eye Mike is having a fight there. I'm assuming it's an Aussie. I have no idea. But we're going to continue towards Graham Hill then. In towards the braking zone we go. Can we get a move done here on the Lamborghini or Audi TT? Not quite. That's to see an Audi TT, in fact. But it's not really the greatest car here from memory. So look on the inside here. I sort of guessed that they were going to brake quite early in the Audi TT. So I sort of anticipated that as well. And we managed to be a bit successful then. But that Audi TT is very quick in a straight line. What I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking on the exit of this next corner to get on the inside. That's exactly what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to goad them into going a bit too deep. And guess what? It'll make it work there. So we get a massive run on them here. We get on the inside of that individual. And what we're going to do is be last of late breakers, get it stopped. We'll give room on the outside if it was needed. Not needed, so we just accelerate a bit earlier. And happy days. We're up into P12. We're already catching the back of the pack. So you're seeing the problem with doing this kind of pit strategy. Up ahead, somebody is off there. Norman's been off. Wasn't sure where Norman was going there, but they did maintain a consistent line, so I stayed on the inside. Happy days. We've caught up to Zardos in that Alfa Romeo. But again, you're seeing the problem here, traffic. So my strategy here was to try and avoid the traffic. Unfortunately, we've caught back up to it because the pit stop is very quick indeed. It's super duper quick. It's around 7.5 seconds. So that is the gap you need to pit and come out ahead. Now, we do get on the inside of the Alfa Romeo there, doing the similar move that I did earlier on. Getting on the inside for that right-hander because the outside car normally has to give it up. Now, look at that rear view mirror. They're going to go very deep there, nearly go off the circuit as we jump to lap number 5. And here's where some of the pit stoppers have come in the pits then. And we're going to get out ahead of absolutely everybody. So we are now the lead pit stopper at the moment. As we go on to lap number 7 then, we've got Metal 8 Racer and Dodgy up ahead. Now, we saw Dodgy go off in the previous Brands Hatch race that we did in last week's weekly race guide. Let's see how Dutchy handles himself this time. So Metal 8 Racer trying around the outside. There's a gap here, so I go into it. Unfortunately, Metal 8 Racer just misses me there, maybe. I'm not too sure. It is an aggressive move by me, but there was a space there. So hopefully you don't feel too aggrieved by that move. I think it's clean in my opinion. Do let me know in the comments, though, if you think differently. Right, we're going to head towards this left-hander then. Dutchy in the Genesis. I have to be aggressive here because I'm trying to catch up to the leaders. Remember, 7.5 seconds is the gap. Now, I have gained 2 seconds on the leaders here. It's 10.5 right now as we continue on. In fact, I think there was just a change of position there for the lead. As we head towards this right-hander, though, where's Dutchy going? Is Dutchy going to make it? Yes, indeed. Now, we are putting a lot of pressure here on Dutchy. We're actually gaining the leaders then, so that's about a half-second gain, so there's definitely some racing action going on at the front of the field then. Through the right we go. We get a massive run here once again on Dutchy in that Genesis. We look towards the right, but it's not really an overtaking place here. However, Dutchy just gets it a little bit wrong. Goes off the circuit. Unfortunately, the pressure of me being behind costs them there. Now, Mascafi here sees me coming, and I think goes into pits maybe a lap earlier, potentially there, just to avoid the racing action that I will go for it here because they can tell exactly what I'm doing. Question is, did I get enough of a gap? The answer is, yes, I did. Fortunately for me, my strategy has paid off massively there. 1.5 seconds lead then. As we head towards the line, it goes up to 2.3. I'm happy with that. We get a win in daily racing with that strategy. Now, in some cars, you are going to have to change tyres. So just pit and change tyres from around lap 4 onwards and you should be fine. This race, though, I've given a 6 out of 10. Again, all the scores down below if you are interested in that in terms of, how I've done the exact scores. So that has changed. Right, we're going to go into a lap guide now. We're in the McGann Trophy, plus 5 brake balance. You can see that on the right-hand side. And what we're going to do, as we head in towards turn 1, you've got the 2 board and the marshal box. You want to brake in the middle of these, to be honest with you. Obviously, it depends on the car, and if it's got rubbish brakes, good brakes, that may change slightly. But in the middle of them is the best place to brake, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'll take a wider line in because I just want to clip the curb on the inside and try and maintain that speed through. Very common mistake to turn in too early to that corner and then you don't carry any speed. So try and take a wider line in and carry the momentum through. As we head towards Druid, you've got the Palmer Sports sign up above, but I prefer to use the red barrier there on the left-hand side as it hits my edge of my screen, and that's what I'm going to use in this situation. I'm going to be quite aggressive here, so you want to point the car towards the curb here. It's a hairpin, essentially. You want to get on the throttle very early as well, especially in the McGann Trophy. It'll rotate itself a little bit, which is kind of nice. So Graham Hill on the right side, we've got the green barrier or the one board. You can use that, or you can try and aim for that curb that I've pointed out in the middle of your screen. Now, if you aim for that, you are braking a bit too late, but also as you're aiming for it, you could click the grass and spin. You do have to be careful of that. So I use the green more often than not on the right side. We accelerate through the corner. We use all of the exit there as we continue towards the next left-hander. What we're looking for here on the right side, the one board and the green again. It's like the last corner, but it's the same thing here. So as that leaves the screen, I'm going to hit the brakes. Now, you want to take a wide line in. Don't go turn in too tight too early because you're going to compromise the entire straight. So middle of the road is the best approach for this one, and that's what I'm going to try and do here. Notice how I turn in. I'm looking for the white line, and then I accelerate the second I see it, essentially, because I should make the corner at that point. We head towards the end of the straight then, and on the right side, we have a red painted barrier. Brands Hatch is famous for these, apparently, in my lap guides, because they help massively. So there on the right-hand side, literally I'm going to hit the brakes and turn in. I try and maintain 100 miles an hour through this corner. That is my goal. If I go below that, I've not done it right. And notice that I'm trying to just slow the car down enough to 100 and then boot it through the corner. Still time to be gained there. As we continue to the next corner, on the left-hand side, the red painted barrier. Woohoo! They're everywhere. Now, for this corner, you are going to have to be a little bit patient, okay? So you're going to hit the brakes, turn in, let the car roll a little bit until it hits the curb. If you're trying to accelerate too early, the curb's going to launch the front end up and you're going to understeer completely off. So I'll let the car roll, I touch the curb, then I accelerate. That's how to do that corner and maximize the time in that corner as well. Dingledell on the right side, we have a one board there, okay? So as you get to that board on the right side, sorry, I lost my words there. You can see I've just started braking now. I'm heading towards the outside of the circuit. Essentially, what I want to do now is make sure the weight and the car starts to turn in nicely and cut a lot of the inside if I can. I do start to accelerate very early here because it just allows the car to rotate a little bit in this Megane Trophy. On the right side there, we've got the... what is it? A catch fence there to help the marshals, save the marshals, protect the marshals. That's what I'm trying to say. Literally, that is your brake marker for this left-hander. Now, this corner, you want to get on the inside. There is so much camber on this corner that you need to get on the inside to maximize it. And that's what I try and do there. The second I click the curb, I accelerate through the corner. You may run wide and touch the grass a little bit. That's fine. Just be careful if you do that. The final corner then, we have the green barrier or the one board. Now, you're braking in the middle of this, if I'm brutally honest with you. The one board's a bit too late. The green's a bit too early. In the Megane Trophy, brake in the middle of these, and you should make it fine. Now, you can stay in fourth gear and do this corner. It's going to be very stable if you do that. You could do third gear, but you notice that I instantly get rotation, and then I'm back up into fourth. So it's entirely up to you. I think fourth is a better gear, if I'm honest with you. So I highly recommend you use fourth gear. Stay on the inside to maximize the time, and that's a 128.6. I expect a very low 128 in this Megane Trophy. We're in the bloopers then. We're on board TCR Heroes. What happened to Hero then in this race? We go into the left-hander there, and we continue on. Oh, they got a slight wiggle. Unfortunately, go off the circuit, and then they leave the race then. So we jump on board Race Heart here. We're just going to see this incident once again. The seconds was on the inside here. There's always going to be a crash. It's a very hard corner to overtake. As we go into here, just carried a bit too much speed. Max Power did a good overtake there, though. And yeah, everybody into the barrier, and I gained 3 positions. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate that. We're on board Hero here then. You're going to see me bump draft Max Power as we go into this right-hander. So they gave me way too much space. That's a very common thing to do where you give too much space as we go into this left-hander. There's a bounce off the curb. Unfortunately, that it forces Mikey off there. So racing incident there in the grand scheme of it. Oops, somebody else going round. That's the Belgium driver we had side-by-side earlier on with. So on board the French driver then. We all know what's going to happen here. I'm going to get sent to Narnia. So as we come into here, you brake at the 150 board. No, they just hit the brakes too late. They must have got distracted or something. One thing I highly recommend to everybody is if you've got a car directly in front of you, just brake earlier. Just brake that tiny bit earlier. You will be fine. You won't lose that much time, and everybody remains safe. What happened to Minesweeper here? This was the Curse Forever, isn't it? Oh, okay, yeah. They just got the paddock hill completely wrong, and they're going to hit the barrier there. So, yeah, they didn't have the greatest race at all. We go on board Norman then. Let's see what happened to Norman as we head towards this left-hander. The Huracan can be a bit dangerous. And yeah, just got a bit of oversteer. Ran a bit wide as well. And then went for a spin. That is going to be it for these bloopers though. If you have enjoyed it, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support. But that is it for me. 2 videos there to check out. Do click my logo to subscribe, and do check out the partners down below. We've got GT Amiga, we've got Coach Dave Academy, where the time trial laps are uploaded to if you want to compare like for likes. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.